Man, Michigan is such a dangerous state. I should have brought my dog for protection. I feel vulnerable out here. Believe it or not, Michigan is among the most dangerous states in the entire country.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
Michigan actually ranks 9th out of all the states in the U.S. in terms of violent crime.
The wall just got 10 feet higher.
In this video, we're going to go over the 10 most dangerous cities in all of Michigan, starting with number 10 and going all the way to number 1. That being said, let's see what's behind door number 10.
Number 10 is Muskegon Heights.
Never heard of it.
Despite the name Muskegon Heights, it's not very high up on this particular list, but it did make the top 10. Barely. Muskegon Heights is a suburb of Muskegon. It used to have as many as 19,500 people, but not no more.
Nope.
And the crime is a big reason as to why. This isn't a new problem for this town. Crime has been an issue here for a very long time. Since everyone who lives here keeps on running for higher ground, the crime rate has actually gone down over the years, so at least there's that. In years prior, Muskegon Heights would be in the top 5. The violent crime rate here currently is 1,193 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is 2,718 per 100,000 residents. And my biggest takeaway from that is not how bad Muskegon Heights is, but more so the fact that Michigan has 9 places that are considered to be more dangerous. They don't call it the murder mitten for nothing. Pure Michigan, baby. And I like Michigan a lot. In my opinion, it's the best state to live in the Midwest. Enough scenery to make you love it here, and enough negative press to keep people away, so it never gets ruined. And that's what I call a formula for success. Hell yeah, man. While the next place on this list at least has a few direct flights from its airport, so that way you can get away for a weekend when you feel like you've had enough. Number 9 is Kalamazoo.
Could you repeat that?
Kalamazoo is one of those cities that have a cult following. Either you love it or you don't. What's undeniable about Kalamazoo, though, is that there are direct flights to both Chicago and Detroit. How sweet is that?
Not.
Okay, maybe not. But it was cooler when you could fly to Orlando from Kalamazoo. Looks like they took that away, though. But oh well. What hasn't changed here is the crime rates. At least, it hasn't changed for the good. It keeps getting slightly worse here year after year, it seems. Unfortunately so. The violent crime rate in Kalamazoo is 1,296 per 100,000 residents, or 4 times the national rate, while the property crime rate is nearly 4,000 per 100,000 residents. That's a big part of the reason as to why the population continues to fall here slowly but surely.
Drip, drip, drip.
Since 1970, the city has continuously seen a slight decline in population, and in order to not become the next city for abandoned YouTube video content, things have to change here, and in my opinion, the crime problem needs to be solved first and foremost. Because Kalamazoo has a lot of things going for it. The headquarters for Stryker are nearby, Pfizer has its largest manufacturing site in the area, and Western Michigan University brings a lot of youthfulness to the city. Heck, the median age for Kalamazoo is 29, which is really low, so that shows that it's a college town. But if Kalamazoo can focus on lowering the crime rate, maybe it could be the next up-and-coming city. But until then, if it ever happens, Kalamazoo will continue to lose population and the crime rate will only continue to get worse. Well, the next place on this list doesn't have much of a chance for a turnaround.
I'm actually in my old neighborhood over here. I used to ride my bike up and down these streets every day. Might not have been the smartest decision. But that's what I did when I was a kid.
Number 8 is Ecorse.
Been there, done that.
Ecorse is a suburb of Detroit along the Detroit River in an area that's known as Down River. In 1950, the place used to be home to 17,900 people. But not no more.
Nope.
Today it's more like 8,900 or so in an ever-declining number. Early on, Ecorse relied heavily on steel production. One of those steel plants has been abandoned and torn down, now it's a Superfund site. Nearby in River Rouge, US Steel still has a large plant. The Ford River Rouge complex is still in operation nearby too. There's also the Marathon Oil Refinery in Detroit that isn't too far away, so there are some blue-collar jobs to be found here and there throughout the area, but none of these factories employ as many people as they used to. And once employment dropped, so did the population and the overall Ecorse tax base.
Nice work, Captain Obvious.
The violent crime rate here is over 1,300 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is over 2,800 per 100,000 residents. There are simply just way better options nearby when it comes to choosing somewhere to live, like Wyandotte, Southgate, Trenton, Allen Park, even Lincoln Park or Taylor, aka Taylor Tucky. Those would all be safer bets to buy a home. Well, before we get on to the next place on this list, it's time for a word from this video's sponsor.
Thought you were slick, huh? Guess not, but don't worry. Call Wallside Bail Bonds at 555-5555 and we'll get you out of the slammer in no time. That's Wallside Bail Bonds. We have to keep breaking the law and help keep us in business.
Number 7 is Albion.
Is that even a real place?
Albion is located about halfway between Battle Creek and Jackson. It's one of those struggling rural towns that you just can't help but feel bad for. The factories that the town relied on for such a long time have closed down and left. Albion College has long been an economic anchor for the town as well, but it too has struggled over the years, and the city even lost its high school because it could no longer afford it. Usually when you come across economically depressed areas, that means that you'll see a higher crime rate, and that's what we see in teeny tiny Albion. You don't usually see crime rates that are this high though, especially for rural towns under 10,000 people. The violent crime rate is 1,347 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is over 2,700 per 100,000 residents.
Why do you keep saying per 100,000 residents when there's less than 10,000 people in these places? So dumb.
Oh my, are you serious? It's a metric, okay? It's a metric. It's called a metric. It's a consistent measurable that I'm using across all places on this list. Here, how about this? 1,347 per 100,000 is equal to 1 per 74. So 1 out of every 74 Albion residents are likely to be the victim of a violent crime, according to the data. And that's unfortunate. The population here has dropped by around 5,000 or so since its 1970 peak, and it even lost 1,000 people between 2010 and 2020, or a rate of about 10% of its population, which is sad. Well, I wonder where these people move away to sometimes. Certainly it couldn't have been to the next place on this list.
Well, let me tell you guys, this next place, it's going to come as a real shock.
Number 6 is Flint.
Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl.
Not even the Flint Tropics could save Flint from being on this list.
Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl!
Officials claim that the Flint water crisis is officially over as the last lead pipe in this town has been replaced. Let's hope so. But I do want to say this, Flint was just the poster child for hundreds, if not thousands of cities with old utility infrastructure. If you live east of the Mississippi, you might want to look into whether or not your town still uses lead pipes. You might be surprised at what you find.
Good luck with that.
Anyway, Flint was on the path of decline long before its water became a national story. General Motors owned this town, through and through, employing tens of thousands of workers in the area. Today there's only one GM plant left, and the drop in auto manufacturing jobs in Flint has declined significantly since the good old days. Not only has the population dropped here, but poverty rates are through the roof. As many as 40.7% of Flint's residents live in poverty. It's a sad deal. Crime rates are extreme here too, with the violent crime rate being as high as 1,384 per 100,000 residents. At least the property crime rate is pretty low, but then again, who knows if all the crimes are being reported. Look, when Netflix puts out a documentary, "What Up, Flint Town?" that showcases what the cops go through on a daily basis here, that's never a good look for the city.
Gee, you think?
But Flint has come a very long way in this regard. The crime rates used to be much higher. Hopefully the crime rates can continue to drop, because really, I'd be more impressed with a Flint comeback than I would be with a true Detroit comeback, because I think less people expect Flint to come back. That being said, if you're from Michigan, I'd bet that you'd be surprised that Flint is outside of the top 5. Even more surprising might be the city that finds itself directly in front of Flint. Number 5 is Lansing.
Hell yeah, it is. It's only fitting that Michigan's capital city made this list.
Really, it's not surprising that Lansing is on this list because it's always had a high crime problem, but it might be surprising that it's now above Flint. Lansing is weird, super high crime rate, but overall a more stable economy than a place in equal size. The poverty rate for Lansing residents is 18%, which isn't anything to brag about, but it's not 40% like what we saw in Flint, and the crime rate here is soaring. The violent crime rate in particular comes in at just a few points higher than that for Flint, while the property crime rate comes in notably higher than that for Flint. That being said, it might surprise you that the latest census estimate shows that Lansing is actually growing in population. Apparently since 2020, Lansing has grown by almost 2,000 people. If you're moving to the area though, you might want to consider some of the suburbs right outside of Lansing, you know, places like East Lansing, Okemos, or maybe something more affordable in Holt would be safer bets, and you would probably pay less in property taxes too, I'd imagine. Plus, Lansing is one of the 24 Michigan cities with the dreaded city income tax. So you definitely want to try to avoid that if you can. But hey, really quick, before we move on to the next place on our list, if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you don't, karma will hit and your job will decide that you're a perfect fit for their Lansing branch. So if you want to avoid that, hit like and subscribe.
Just do it!
Thanks.
I'm actually not too far from the next place on this list.
Number 4 is Detroit.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck as in good luck explaining how Motown made this list to the Detroit is the biggest comeback city brigade. That's a large cult following that you're striking a battle with there. You know, they say to pick your battles wisely. Well, this isn't a wise battle, but I'm picking it anyway. Okay, so I'll start this battle off right by saying that in my worst 10 cities in Michigan video, I mentioned that Detroit had a violent crime rate of 1,700 per 100,000 residents. Well, since then I changed the way that I gathered my info, so the number is going to be higher than that. But I can guarantee you that Detroit will still have come off in 4th place in my old gathering method. Anyway, the violent crime rate for the Motor City is 1,947 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is over 4,500 per 100,000 residents. So for many years, Detroit found itself not only on the top of this list, but also the national list of the most dangerous cities. So let me ask this, is it better that Detroit is in 4th place on Michigan's most dangerous list? Or is it worse that there are 3 places with higher violent crime rates? I think I'm gonna go with the, it's worse that there are 3 places ranked higher. Yes, I'd like to buy an A. Okay, I think I'd like to solve the puzzle. A true Detroit comeback still has a long way to go. I'm not hating on Detroit, nobody wants to see Detroit come back more than me. It's been my favorite large city my whole life. Long story short, my 23andMe confirms that I am a Detroiter by blood, my great-grandfather worked at Fisher Body Plant 21, and I had ancestors that helped build the Fox Theater. And when I was younger, I found myself defending Detroit all the time. But during those days when I was in junior high and high school, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't actually know what was going on here until I grew up and became an adult, and I realized the real problems with this city and just how deep of a hole the city has dug itself in. It's going to take decades of doing things the right way for the city to see a real comeback. And I hope it happens. But that being said, I'm saving my breath on seeing a true Detroit comeback. I'm waiting to see a tax reform. That's right, investors can continue to build up the downtown area all they want with all the tax breaks and incentives that they receive from the city, but until there is a complete tax reform for the city, for the people who live in Detroit, I'm not getting excited. What kind of person would want to buy a $400,000 home in one of the nicer city neighborhoods when they see that there's a $15,000 annual property tax bill attached to it?
Nope.
Exactly. Especially when you can buy a $400,000 home in a suburb with better schools and better city services with a property tax bill that is less than half. So there you go. Moving on now, the next three on this list will make Detroit look like a safe haven. Really, the gap between Detroit and the next place on this list is pretty substantial. Number 3 is Saginaw.
Duh.
Sag Nasty is more like it. Look, I didn't come up with that nickname, the internet did. And Draymond Green even trademarked it.
What up, Draymond Green?
Not too many places have had it worse than Saginaw. Saginaw was once home to more than 98,000 people, but not no more.
Nope.
Of course, the decline in manufacturing jobs in the area is largely to blame, but so are the absurdly high crime rates. The violent crime rate is well over 2,000 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is more towards the norm. But good grief, Saginaw. That's a rate of 1 out of every 44 residents, as in you have a 1 out of 44 chance of being the victim of a violent crime in Saginaw. Really, the entire Saginaw area has been in decline for a long time. There hasn't been positive economic momentum here to speak of at all. Hopefully something can happen and change here to where there's some positive momentum, but it's hard to bet on that happening. Next up is a place with a very similar violent crime rate, but the property crime rate is significantly higher. Number 2 is Benton Harbor.
Been there, done that.
Like many places on this list, Benton Harbor has seen better days.
Gee, you think?
Benton Harbor has been hit hard with the decline of the auto industry, race riots, white flight, and now, black flight. The poverty rates here are among the highest in the nation at 42%. The crime rates here are too. The violent crime rate is 2,283 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is over 4,300 per 100,000 residents. The only good things about Benton Harbor would be the Whirlpool headquarters and the sand dune-lined Lake Michigan shoreline. Outside of that, it's pretty rough. But the next place on our list doesn't have hardly anything to brag about other than its history. Their Fortune 500 company left town a long time ago, and it's not along the shores of a Great Lake. Number 1 is Highland Park.
I'm number 1.
Highland Park has found itself at the top of several unwanted lists of mine so far. This one, and now this one. Highland Park is an enclave of Detroit, as in it's surrounded by Detroit on all sides, with only a small part of it bordering the other Detroit enclave of Hamtramck. Highland Park used to be the headquarters for the Chrysler Corporation, but not no more.
Nope.
Chrysler up and left for Auburn Hills back in 1992, and now Chrysler is owned by an overseas company. They made the move probably because they got a good tax break, but also Auburn Hills was away from the absurdly high crime rates that plagued inner-city Detroit and Highland Park for years. These days, the crime rates for Highland Park aren't as bad as they used to be, but they're still among the highest in the nation. The violent crime rate is nearly 2,300 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is at 3,900 per 100,000 residents. The violent crime rate is like 7 times the national average, people. Plus, the population here has declined from over 50,000 people at its peak to now below 10,000. It's unfortunate because the history in Highland Park is really fascinating. Honorable mentions for this list includes Battle Creek, Jackson, and Inkster. All 3 of those towns have violent crime rates of over 1,000 per 100,000 residents.
Well, there you have it, guys. Those are the 10 most dangerous cities in Michigan. And if you want to feel better about yourself and see what the 10 worst cities are to live in Ohio, you should make sure to watch this video here. Hope to see you there. Peace.